Please like the video, subscribe my channel. The man who began to dress like his future when Aarav first moved to the city, no one noticed him. He worked on the 10th floor of a glass building, where ambition echoed louder than footsteps. Every morning, he arrived in faded shirts, loosely ironed trousers, and shoes that had long surrendered their shine. He told himself it didn't matter. Talent mattered. Hard work mattered. Clothes were just fabric. At least that's what he believed. But something strange kept happening. In meetings, his ideas floated in the air for a moment and then dissolved. When others spoke, even if they said less, heads turned. When he spoke, eyes drifted. He began to wonder whether the world was unfair, or whether the world was simply seeing something he wasn't. One evening, as he stood before the mirror adjusting his collar carelessly, he paused. For the first time, he really looked at himself. His reflection did not look like a man who believed in his own potential. It looked like someone trying not to take up space. And then a quiet thought surfaced. If I don't present myself like I matter, why would anyone else believe I do? The next morning, nothing dramatic happened. No transformation. No thunderbolt of confidence. He simply ironed his shirt properly. The day after that, he polished his shoes. A week later, he chose clothes deliberately, not expensive, just intentional, clean lines, proper fit, a watch that matched his posture, a stance that matched his goals. And something unexpected shifted. It wasn't the office that changed first. It was his walk. His back straightened, his voice steadied. His words stopped asking for permission and started offering value. When he entered rooms, he no longer tried to disappear. People began listening, not because fabric holds magic, but because the mind does. Aarav realized something profound. The brain responds to symbols, and clothing is a powerful one. Each morning when he dressed with care, he was sending a silent message to himself. I am preparing for something important. Over time, that message shaped his behavior. He organized his desk better. He spoke more thoughtfully. He stopped postponing difficult conversations. Discipline, once forced, began to feel natural. Months passed. One day, a new intern joined the company. Nervous, overlooked, dressed like Aarav once had been. The intern asked him quietly, "Sir, how did you become so confident?" Aarav smiled. "I didn't become confident first," he replied. "I started behaving like someone who respected himself. Confidence followed." He never told the intern that the first step had been a well-ironed shirt, because the truth was bigger than clothing. Clothes do not change destiny, but they can open doors where destiny waits. They are not about impressing others. They are about reminding yourself that you are not ordinary in your own story. And when a person begins to show up as their best version, even in small, daily ways, the world slowly adjusts its response. In the end, Aarav understood something most people overlook. Talent whispers. Presentation gives it a voice. And sometimes, the quiet ritual of getting dressed with intention is the first line written in the story of your future. The man who began to dress like his future. Part to success did not arrive all at once. It crept in quietly. After months of small changes, Aarav was no longer invisible in meetings. His manager began asking for his opinion before concluding discussions. Clients responded to his emails faster. Colleagues who once overlooked him now waited for his input. But something deeper was unfolding beneath the surface. One evening, long after the office had emptied, Aarav stayed behind, reviewing a presentation for an important pitch. It was his biggest opportunity yet, a chance to lead a project instead of merely assisting. As he packed his bag to leave, he noticed something unexpected. He wasn't nervous. Months ago, an opportunity like this would have made his palms sweat. He would have questioned whether he was ready, whether he was capable. Now, he felt prepared. Not because of a title, not because of praise, but because every morning for the past few months, he had practiced showing up as someone who deserved responsibility. Clothes had been the beginning, but they were never the destination. They had trained his mind to expect more from himself. The next day, he chose his outfit carefully. Not flashy, not loud, but sharp, intentional, calm, confident. As he entered the conference room, he noticed something different in the way people looked at him. It wasn't admiration. It was expectation. And expectation changes everything. When he spoke, his voice carried clarity. His slides were structured. His posture steady. He didn't rush. He didn't shrink. By the end of the presentation, the client nodded slowly and said, "We'd like him to lead this. Not the team. Not the department." Double quotes him. That evening, walking home through the city lights, Aarav realized a second truth, even more powerful than the first. When you consistently present yourself as your future self, you begin closing the gap between who you are and who you could become. But life had one more lesson waiting. A few weeks later, a difficult phase arrived. A proposal was rejected. A senior colleague criticized his strategy publicly. Doubt knocked on his confidence again. Old Aarav would have retreated. This time, he didn't. The next morning, he still ironed his shirt. He still stood tall before the mirror. He still reminded himself silently, "I respect myself too much to shrink." And that was when he understood the true power of small rituals. They anchor you, especially on difficult days. Anyone can look confident when things are going well, but discipline reveals itself when things don't. Months turned into a year. Aarav eventually earned a promotion, but by then, he knew something most people misunderstand. The promotion wasn't the victory. The victory was the transformation. He had stopped dressing to impress the world. He had started dressing to remind himself who he was becoming. And slowly, the world adjusted. Because in the end, destiny is rarely rewritten by one grand moment. It is shaped by quiet decisions repeated daily. A well-ironed shirt, polished shoes, a steady gaze, a disciplined mind. Clothes were never just fabric. They were the first promise he made to himself each morning, and he never broke it again.